let's turn to the state of wetlands, especially in Greater Kampala, Bhubanese. It's your job as NEMA to protect each and every inch of the wetlands.
All environment.
Yeah. Where are we?
Wetlands, we are doing very, very well. You know, Uganda was ranked recently best in Africa and third globally in protection of wetlands. Have you heard about that report by a US-based university? We've been ranked first in Africa and third in the world in protecting of wetlands. Currently, the global percentage of wetland as a percentage of land surface, the global average is 6%. 6%. Africa average is just 3%. 3. Uganda, we are talking of now 13.9% of our land surface covered by wetlands. So you can see that we are doing extremely well. Are we losing some wetlands? Yes. From 1995, we had 15%. We are now at 13.9%. So we've lost some 2% since 1995. But others have lost almost 70%. We are talking of losing 2%. Why have we lost the 2%? The population of Uganda in 1986-87 and today has changed more than 300 times. So we've actually multiplied not by 3 times from just 1987. The population has increased times 3. In the proportion 300%. So where have these people gone? These people have occupied space on Earth, on the planet. And in Uganda they have occupied space, including some wetlands. Part of the city we have in Kampara is built on wetlands. You've seen Nachivubo Stadium where it is. That's why we are discussing Nachivubo Channel now. It's because there was Nachivubo wetland in the past. The wetland was removed and we were left with a channel. So the historical legacy now is the channel. So certainly you cannot have the population growing 300% and you expect the land to remain intact. So we must thank ourselves as a country for having been the best in Africa and third in the world for striving to protect the wetlands that we have. Other continents have lost almost 70%. We are talking of loss of 2%. We are not proud that we've lost 2%. We should not have lost anything. But again, the population is growing. Industries have come up. You need roads. Some roads pass through wetlands. So they reduce on the wetland cover. Then there is encroachment, which you and me know. You see at night, trucks carrying soil under the cover of the darkness to backfill wetlands. So our wetland cover has appreciated from 9.3 intact wetland. We are now talking about 13.9. So there is progress in recovery of degraded wetland. Our ultimate hope would have been that we remain at 15, but it is not possible because some areas have been converted permanently. So the biggest problem is really in what you have already said. The urban areas, for example, Kampara Metropolitan and Greater Kampala Metropolitan, there is high rate of degradation because of need for prime land in the city, for residential houses, for factories, for commercial buildings. So we have pressure in urban areas. But in the countryside, the pressure is minimal. Some pressure is easy to deal with. For example, agriculture, when you remove the crops, the wetland will come very, very quickly. So the biggest challenge we should fight is urban wetland encroachment where there is backfilling. And we've started the journey. You are aware we've started the restoration. We've done restoration in Rubingi. If you go there now, it is teeming green. Life is coming back. On Express between Monyonyo and Kajjansi. If you go there, you will be happy with what you see. But we've done so many other in Kole, in Shema, in Bushenyi, Peche, in Guru, and so many areas. We have had operations across the country. These operations have not stopped. They will continue. They will continue. But we are now continuing to sensitize the people and encourage them to see what we see, so that it's not people against NEMA. No. People should be the ultimate stewards of the environment, because when we damage the environment, it is not only NEMA which suffers, everyone suffers. So our preoccupation is to ensure that citizens become the #1 stewards of environment, and we are making progress. We've now enhanced our intact wetland cover from 9.3% to, we are talking of now 13.9 wetland cover. So it's not all rosy, but we have made significant progress.
But for me, when you talked about the Monyonyo-Kajjansi stretch, and you say that you have done their good work and the person there should be happy.
Yeah, you can see with your eyes.
Actually, for me, I'm not happy, because before actually you get into the main road, there are some like good apartments on the other side.
I know them.
Which are completely in the wetland.
I know them.
Why are they still there?
They are still there because they were approved in the past.
Someone said they are owned by big people.
No. There is nobody who is above the law. Everyone is below the law except one person. It's only the law only protects president. A sitting president is the only person who is above the law during the tenure of his office. So everyone else is below the law. You've seen so many big structures going down in our recent campaign, including so many things which you've seen and reported. You people have reported about them. I don't want to go into them. So the point is, when you are enforcing the law, you must not again break the law. Because if you are enforcing the law and then you break the law, then you become a joker. So you cannot put down a building which was established through normal process with the land title, with the approvals by local government and urban authorities, with even NEMA approval. These approvals were given in the past, and we must recognize them. Because if we don't recognize them, it would mean that we are acting outside the law. But since 2nd September 2021, which was my first day actually in this chair, it was my first day. It's the instrument I signed first in office. We suspended issuance of environment and social impact assessment for developments in wetlands. And from that time, nobody has been given permission to build in wetland.
But we see people building actually every day.
Where?
Like those apartments, they came.
Those apartments were already approved, I told you. By 2021, when we suspended, the building had already started. You've just seen completion, but they had already started, and they have certificates issued in the past.
Can't we walk backwards and actually cancel those certificates and remove these apartments?
Yes, you can walk backwards, but it has a cost. Government has to compensate the private owner. Government. If they were owned by government, it would be easy. But once they are owned by private sector, government has to compensate in order to remove them for as long as they existed legally through a due process. If they were illegal by now, they would be down. You wouldn't be seeing them there. It would be number one when we started the campaign. They would be number one if they were illegal.
I'm not convinced that they would go down. And actually,
there was the same question in Rubingi when we were in Rubingi. People were saying, but Starbucks, why have you left Starbucks? You remember that talk?
Yes, yeah.
You remember that talk? You see, like I said, you cannot be enforcing the law and then you are at the same time breaking the law, you would be contradicting yourself. So if somebody was established through a due legal process, you must remove the same person also through a due legal process. If you do not observe that, then the government will be in problems. The citizens will lose more money because now government will be sued and your taxes, my taxes, will go into enriching now a rich person again. So that's not now due diligence.
Yeah, but the fact is that we have seen reversal of land titles, reversal of a lot of things.
Yeah.
So the question is, why can't NEMA walk backwards and remove Starbucks and remove those fancy good apartments on Entebbe Road, rather than kicking out the poor urban people who have nowhere to go? We want to see, for people, they think that justice requires you to walk backwards. If someone issued a license to someone who is in wetland, yeah, you have left him there today, but can you walk backwards actually in 2 years and cancel the certificates that this person has and then remove the person?
Yes, you can cancel the title because all those people have titles, so it's not government land, it's private land. It's not that it's government land. So it's like me coming to your land and say, go away. Government has that capacity through the law. But the constitution requires that you must give adequate market value compensation. So if government can compensate them, yes, we can walk backwards and they go away. Because they are not on government land. That's private land with land titles issued by government, with the approvals issued by government agencies. So government cannot now say you are here illegally, yet it is government that authorized being there.
Private land in a wetland?
Yes, yes, yes. A person can own a wetland if your title was issued before 1995. Your title is valid, even if there is a wetland on it. But government regulates how you use your land. So it will remain your land, but how you use it, government has a say, because government has power to regulate land use. But where government has authorized and said, approved, building plans approved, EIA approved, so now government will use what ground to remove them? Which ground will they use? If it's an illegal building, government will use the ground of illegality. If the land title is forged, the government will use the ground of illegality. If the building is without approval, government will use the ground of illegality to remove it. But if it fulfills all the legal procedures, government can only now utilize what we call compulsory acquisition of land. They acquire the land, cancel the title, remove the building, pay the person, goes away. We restore the place, it becomes wetland in public interest.
Should we ever think that Starbucks is going to be removed from Rubingi? Those fancy apartments are going to be removed from Kajjansi Road? Those are just examples, because there are so many hundreds of examples that a person can mention. Should people ever have hope that that can happen? Or we forget and move on?
You see, it differs from place to place. There are some which may be claimed by nature itself. Nature will come and restore. Nature can come and restore. Some are in, like Starbucks, for example, is in a location which was formerly, according to record zone 5, it was formerly a material yard for construction of that road. So the area may not flood because it's just a raised ground on the same level of the road. So it depends. It depends. Some nature can reclaim. Even before the law comes, nature alone can reclaim them. Some are safe, very safe.
We hope that. So we hope that nature is the one which is going to help us.
Nature has always helped us, as you know. That's why we tell people to leave wetlands before nature works on them. Because our duty is to ensure that citizens are not left to commit suicide. Why should we leave citizens to commit suicide? The duty of government is to ensure that you do not commit suicide. And that's why we encourage, we call upon anybody who has built in wetlands, whether legally or illegally, to know that it is not wise, it's not a good thing to get soil and fill in that wetland, because water can come back and reclaim the area. So we really call upon the people not to wait for the law, but to look at the danger that they are causing themselves, in addition to the danger they are causing the neighbors.
Let's again talk about the broader issue of wetland encroachment in Greater Kampala. When you look at the overview of what's happening, or the statistics, or the look at when you go to the inspection, who is the biggest contributor to the destruction of wetlands? Is it people with money, those who are putting up industries, or it is the urban poor?
It is, I would say both. For example, if you go to Bugorobi here, Bugorobi just near here, you will find well-to-do people, you will also find the slums. So it is both. I wouldn't choose the poor only or the rich only. It is both. And what we need to know is that sometimes the rich use the poor to encroach on their behalf, take over an area as a slum area. Then after some time, 10 years, 20 years, it's fully converted. Then the rich come and buy off the poor. So I wouldn't attribute the problem to either poor or rich. And illegality is an illegality irrespective of your wallet. When you break the law, it doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. It is a person who has broken the law. So the wallet doesn't matter.
For me, the other place that hurts me a lot in terms of wetland is Namazu. I went to that. I have been going to Namazu for the past 3 years in certain months, around May to August. And there is a time when I reached there and I found that big trucks were actually covering the wetland. It has been turned into an industrial park. What is the rationale of giving out such a big wetland and turning it into an industrial park?
I think in the past, the country, we are still looking for industries, of course. As you've been hearing, you can transform an economy or any society through manufacturing, through services, through services like tourism, like hotels, like ICT, manufacturing of goods and therefore services related to goods. So we needed the industries. We still need industries. So that time, the immediate free land in urban areas were either seasonal wetlands or wetlands. So for example, Namamve, the whole of it wasn't a wetland, for example, but a good part of it was a wetland, but not the entire. So when it was gazetted as an industrial park, certainly Uganda needed industries that time. So to attract industries, government had to give them land. So it was government giving the people land as an incentive to promote industrialization. But like I said, the policy has since changed. We no longer allow, as government, so a government-wide decision, we no longer allow industries in wetlands. So new industrial parks are being established in Chisoro, in Arua, Soroti. They are being established in the dry land. So those were legacy decisions over the past. But at that time, I think we needed these industries. You see, you cannot have omelette without breaking the egg. Eh? If you say, let's not touch anything, it means you will not grow. Now, when you do not grow, you create a bigger danger for environment, because poverty is a very big danger for environment. A hungry person can't conserve. Europe can afford to talk about now environment because they can afford a meal on the table. A person who cannot have a meal on the table, you can't convince them that we need sustainability for future. So we need to strike a balance of development and environment management, and that's why we talk about sustainable development. So that time, much as it may not have been the best decision, I wouldn't say it was the best decision, because we could have given land. We still have a lot of land in Uganda. In Karamoja, there is a lot of land. In northern Uganda, a lot of free land. Eastern Uganda, a lot of free land. Even western Uganda, there is free land. But these lands may not be preferred by industrialists. Industrialists need to be closer to the market. They need to be closer to other factors of production, communication, road network, water, electricity. So those factors dictate where government would offer land at that time. But thank God we've changed now from that policy. Government is no longer giving any wetland for industrial development. No. We have other areas for industrial development which are non-wetlands.
When was a decision actually to turn Namazu into an industrial park made?
It is way back. I need to check, but it is way back, early 2000s.
I don't think so. Partly it was made actually in 1990.
Well, early 2000s and backwards, true.
No, actually, by reading materials which is in your library here, which I have come and read, the discussions were going as late actually as mid-2010s on whether the whole of the wetland should be turned into an industrial park or not. So I think NEMA must have been consulted, and perhaps it said, yes, let it go.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. I wasn't here then, but I know Parliament discussed this matter and agreed to gazette the area as an industrial park around 1997. So this was a government-wide decision. It used to be a central forest reserve, actually. It was Namazu Central Forest Reserve. But part of the reserve had eucalyptus trees, and not natural trees, and then part of it had a wetland. So government took a decision to degazette the forest to create an industrial park. So it was a government-wide decision. It wasn't a NEMA decision. NEMA is part of government.
It agrees with government.
NEMA is part of government. It can advise government, but once government has taken a decision, NEMA cannot be a sovereign. NEMA is not a sovereign. NEMA is a creature of law, is established by an act of parliament, and is part of the executive branch of government. So NEMA can advise government, okay? But NEMA cannot obstruct government, because NEMA is part of government.
Finally, what are your hopes about environmental management in Uganda in the next 10, 15 years? You see things getting better, air quality?
Oh, yes. Yes, things are going to get better. The economy is going to get better. Once you get improved economy, guided economy, not unguided economy, the level of compliance to environment standards is also enhanced as the society is transformed. If you look at Europe, Europe lost almost all their wetlands in the quest for development. So we have now the people to learn from. They made mistakes, developed. Now we have a chance for us to learn from their mistakes and develop without losing the environment. So, if you asked me, the prospects are very, very, very good. I can give you an example. We have recovered our forest cover from only 9%, you know, only 9% to now 12.7%. So there is full recovery. Of course, our ultimate is to go back to, say, 15%. That's our ultimate target for 2040. But you can see that mobilizing people to do tree planting, removing encroachers in natural forests, Uganda has been able to reverse the forest cover loss from just 9%. We were almost running out of trees. From 9% to now 12.7%. So there is recovery there. There is recovery in wetlands. We had 9.3%. Now we are moving towards 13.9%. So we can only get better. Air quality has been improving. The air quality we had 5 years ago is not the air quality we have now. We have improved. How have we improved? People using biogas, people using electricity are increasing. In the last 5 years, nobody talked about electric car. We now have Kayora bus. So we can only improve. The technology is improving for automobiles. And all technologies now is geared towards addressing emissions because of global climate crisis we are in. So the transport sector is being greened. We now have climate smart agriculture. So in my view, the prospects for environment are going to be good. And I am optimistic that we are on track. Notwithstanding the challenges of impunity, which we still see, the challenges of unplanned development, the challenges in physical planning, because physical planning is a big danger to environment. The challenges of illegal titles in central forest reserves and wetlands. These we shall work together as government to manage them. Now, the land information system is automated. You will now it will be difficult to issue a title on a wetland or on a forest reserve. 10 years ago, it was not possible. You would issue a title anywhere. So, with technology, with awareness, with improved commitment, with better regulatory framework that we've put in place, with better capacity, NEMA capacity and other capacities are growing. I can tell you when I came to NEMA in 2021, NEMA had 132 staff. 132 staff. What's the number of districts in Uganda? 140 something.
Now?
Yeah. So you can see that the number of NEMA staff were less than the number of districts in Uganda. Now we are talking about, we are now at 250 current as of now, and our target is to reach 2,000, especially enforcement. We want at least every region, every district environment officer to have enforcement capacity. And enforcement will not only do enforcement, but also proactive engagement of citizens to conserve. So we can only consolidate the gains that we have made and then advance. Yeah, the prospects are definitely good.
So Dr. Akankwasa holds a PhD in environmental management.
Correct.
He speaks with facts, but he speaks like a politician. He's convincing, at some point he's not convincing, but there is a lot that you can learn from listening to him. He's also incredibly hardworking. It's 10 minutes past 10 p.m. and this is when we are concluding this interview. Thank you, Doctor, for the work that you are doing. People may not believe that you can be in office at 10 p.m., but here you are, and perhaps you are going to see more people. Thank you once again.
Thank you very, very much. pleasure is mine. Thank you for the good conversation.